Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn about the lesson solid state, which belongs to physical chemistry. We have already learned two other lessons. One is P block element 1 and metallurgy. Those two lessons belongs to inorganic chemistry. So in this chapter we are going to learn about what are solids. You are familiar with the solids, but still this lesson will teach you little detail about solids. And the first slide which explains what are the general introduction of solids, and the next one it speaks about what are the general characteristics of solids. The next one it goes with what are the classification of solids, what are the different types of solids like crystalline solid and amorphous solids. Next it's going to speak about what are the difference between crystalline solids and amorphous solids. The next is one of the important property of the difference is anisotropy and isotropy. So this video will teach you about all these details. So the next, let's move on the next slide. Here in the introductory part, the matter consists of solid, liquid and gas. So actually it can be divided into four kinds: solid, liquid, gas and plasma. But in our chapter it was just simply given matter is divided into solid, liquid and gas. So by seeing the picture you will be knowing that solid in which the constituent sends the atoms, molecules or the ions which are densely packed. But when you come to liquid, the packing is little lesser. But come to the gas, where the atoms, molecule and constituents are randomly arranged. The main difference between these three are just a packing. So if it is a perfect packing, we can say it is a solid. If it is little loosely held, then it's liquid. Little some more randomly if it is arranged, it's called to be a gas. And there will be a question, why do we learn this chapter, the solid state? It gives a very good idea that when you know the crystal structure or the packing arrangement, everything, we can able to synthesize a new crystals with the different properties. The same kind of substance can be prepared with a different property, which will be helpful for various field. For that purpose we are learning this lesson, and especially silica can exist in the form of quartz, that is called to be a crystalline form. If it is exist in the form of glass, we call it as a amorphous form. So all those things, about all these ideas we will get from this chapter. And you can look at these pictures, that also gives an idea how the atoms or molecules are densely packed in solid, liquid as well as the gases. Then in solid, next is general characteristics of solids. Solids have definite volume and shape. You all know that, you have studied in the lower class. Solids have definite volume and shape. It adopts because of its perfect geometry. Second one, solids are rigid and incompressible. So you all know once the solid is formed, it cannot be compressed further, because naturally obtained solids are obtained just because of its correct temperature. So solids have, due to its perfect geometry, it's rigid as well as incompressible. The third property, solids have strong cohesive force. Cohesive force is nothing but the force which acts between the similar atoms. So when the force is very strong, the packing in a solid will be very strong. So depend upon the cohesive force, its solidity will be decided. Then solid have short interatomic or ionic or molecular distances. So you can take an example of this diamond. Look at the diamond. In that the carbon atom is tetrahedrally bonded, where the carbon-carbon bond distance is said to be 0.154 nanometer, or it is 1.54 angstrom. Likewise in graphite, where its bond distance or atomic distance is said to be 0.142 nanometer or 1.42 angstrom. So it shows the interatomic distance and to the interatomic distance is given in nanometer scale. So it's very short interatomic distance. It's an atom, so it's interatomic. If it's in case of ions, we can call it as interionic, intermolecular distances. Then their constituents such as atoms, ions or molecules have a fixed positions and can only oscillate about their mean position. You can look at that picture where atoms are present at the corners as well as at the center. Where it is localized at the corner as well as center, it does not move from one place to the other. That's what it's called to be having perfect geometry. And the second, it has a fixed position and can only oscillate about their mean position. You can look at the lower diagram where this is the structure of benzene, where there are extra bonds other than the benzene. There are some extra bonds given. It shows that at up to which limit this atom will vibrate. This atom will vibrate towards touching the above atom, and that will touch this one. So it will move to that position as well as down to this position. So that position, this area is called to be a mean position in which the atom or ion or a molecule vibrate in a crystal. Next, the main classification of solids are crystalline solids and amorphous solids. This crystalline solids, this name was originated from a Greek word called to be crystallos. The meaning is called to be clear ice. The first this crystallos was called given to the crystal named to be quartz. Quartz is nothing but SiO2, the perfect crystal of silica, SiO2. This is what first called as a crystallos. Later part, substance which having this crystal packing or flat symmetrical packing, those substances were named to be a crystallos. The next one is amorphous solids. This amorphous solid name is arrived from a Greek word amorphous, which means without form or no form. Where in the amorphous solids, where the atom or the ions or the molecules are not perfectly packed. That's the difference from amorphous solids to the crystalline solid. Then in a crystal, all the atoms are perfectly packed, and it will not move from one place to the other place. Hence, its potential energy is said to be minimum in case of crystalline solid. But in the amorphous solid, it moves randomly. Hence, it will not be the same like crystalline solid. Now, about the classification of solids, it is mainly classified into crystalline solids and amorphous solids. First, depend upon the constituent. This crystalline solid is further divided into 5 kinds. One is ionic crystal, covalent crystal, molecular crystal, metallic crystal, and atomic solids. The ionic crystals are nothing but in which the constituent are present as Na plus and Cl minus, the ions are present. But in case of covalent crystal, the atoms are present as a constituent. But in the molecular crystal, molecules are constituent. Metallic crystal, metal is embedded with a sea of mobile electron. But atomic solids, it's a frozen element, 18 group. So ionic solid where NaCl ions, the ion Na plus and Cl minus are present at the corner, edges and alternatively. Likewise in the potassium chloride, K plus and Cl minus is present in the ionic solid. Then come to the covalent crystal in which the diamond and silica is given as a example for covalent crystal. In diamond, one carbon atom is tetrahedrally bonded with the 4 other carbon atoms. So the bond formed between one carbon to the other carbon is covalent bond. So one tetrahedral unit is linked with the other tetrahedral unit through a bond called to be a covalent bond. Hence we call it as a covalent crystal. One is diamond, another one is silica. Silica also you all studied in the previous lesson, P block element 1. Next we will go to the molecular crystal. The molecular crystal in which the lattice points means the point at which atom or ion or a molecule occupies called as lattice points. In a molecular crystal, the molecules are present at its lattice points. Then we call it as a molecular crystal. Example, naphthalene, anthracene and glucose. Naphthalene, you all are familiar with the naphthalene. Most of you will be seen that naphthalene and its structure is next to that. Next example is anthracene, that green as a powder crystal, but it packing is very perfect. Glucose. Next is about the metallic crystal. So the metallic crystal, where the lattice points are occupied by a metal ion. This metal ion will be surrounded by a sea of mobile electron. So metal ion means it lost that electron. Those lost electron will be surrounded by the metal ion. So that packing, that will be present at the corner edges, etc. So the examples are sodium, magnesium, copper, gold and silver. Next is atomic solids, where the lattice points are occupied by the atoms. Example for atomic solid is frozen element of group 18. Helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon are the example for atomic solid. Next is about the amorphous solid. I said the amorphous solid, the packing will not be perfect. Example for the amorphous solids are glass and rubber. Next, difference between crystalline and amorphous solids. So what are the major difference between the crystalline and amorphous solid? We are going to see in this video. The first difference between the crystalline and amorphous solid is this crystalline solids have long range orderly arrangement of its constituent. Constituent sense atoms, ions and molecules. The long range order, you can look at this picture. The long range order means the atom and ions are arranged for a long distance. So when it is arranged for a large distance, then we call it as a long range orderly arrangement. So it even if you measured for a particular angstrom, whatever unit, a bigger crystal, when you cut into your pieces, you can able to find the same packing. That's what called to be the long range order. But in the case of amorphous solid, it is short range and random arrangement of its constituents. Short range means only for the few angstrom distance. Few distance, the crystals will be, this amorphous solids will be, seems to be packed perfectly. When you go beyond a little limit, you can find there will be some disorder. So when you see this picture, you can able to see that somewhere the atom will be missing, somewhere the shape will be missing. It was somewhat like a coagulated, somewhat it is arranged in a disorder manner. That is what called to be the random arrangement. And even if you find any packing perfect, that will extend only for a short range. So that's what called to be the main difference between the crystalline solid as well as the amorphous solid. Next, it possesses the definite shape. So depend upon the packing of atom or ion or a molecule, it may adopt either a cubic shape, or it can adopt a tetragonal shape, or it can adopt a triclinic shape, or it can adopt an octahedral shape, etc. That is about the crystalline solid. But this amorphous solid does not have any order, hence it have irregular shape. It will be, things will be arranged very random manner, so it will be having irregular shape. And anisotropic, that is the important property of crystalline solid. The anisotropy is nothing but having different property in different direction. The crystalline solid possess different property in different direction. When you measure the physical property of crystalline solid, you get the different value in different direction. That's what the meaning of anisotropic in nature. But the amorphous solids are isotropic in nature. Example is liquid. Liquids are isotropic. Here glass can be isotropic, plastic can be isotropic. The isotropic sense having similar properties in all the direction, whichever direction you measured, or you can find the similar property. The same value will be obtaining from the different direction. Then this crystalline solids are called to be a true solid. So normally we are telling the crystalline solid and amorphous solid, both we are calling it as a solid, but actually in a right sense, when we consider, the crystalline solid only has to be called as a true solid because it has a perfect geometry and the arrangement packing is exactly correct order. But when you come to the amorphous solid, it's otherwise called to be a word Pseudo-solid. The pseudo-solid means false solid. That means seems to be a solid, but actually it's not a solid. It's said to be a super cooled liquid. That is, take an example of glass. Actually, glass seems to be a solid, like a perfect crystalline appearance, but actually it's not at all a solid. It's a liquid. When glass is silica heated to the extreme temperature, and suddenly when it is cooled to a very extreme low temperature, it get converted into a solid state. That's what called to be our amorphous solid. Hence it can be otherwise called to be pseudo solid, or it could be called to be a supercooled liquid. Next, definite heat of fusion. The heat of fusion is nothing but the amount of energy required to convert 1 gram of a solid into a liquid is called to be without changing its temperature is called to be the heat of fusion. So for a solid, due to its perfect packing, it has a definite heat of fusion. But when you come to the liquid, when you come to the amorphous solid, it does not have a definite heat of fusion. For example, in crystalline solid sodium chloride, it has its definite heat of fusion, but come to this glass and all that, it will not have that. The next one, crystalline solid are very sharp melting point. Sharp melting point, you can have an example of ice. Ice is a crystalline solid. When even if you take a 1 gram of ice or 100 gram of ice, when you reach the temperature of 0 degrees Celsius, it starts melting. So it does not depend upon the amount of ice. So the ice has its own sharp melting point, that is a crystalline solid. So but when you come to this amorphous solid, it does not have a sharp melting point. That sense that when you heat this amorphous solid, first it started soften itself over a range of temperature. When a temperature increases, it starts soften itself, and then can go as a pliable. That sense, it will not have a abrupt change, solid directly getting into the liquid. That change you cannot expect from the amorphous solid. Hence it can be molded. That's the one of the property of this amorphous solid. Example of crystalline solid is sodium chloride and diamond. And example of this amorphous solids are rubber, plastic, glass, etc. Now we are going to see about the important property called to be anisotropy and isotropy. So anisotropy is a property belongs to the crystalline solid. So anisotropy is defined as the property, the physical properties which are different in different direction. So physical properties such as refractive inductance as well as the electrical conductance. So let's see what is refractive inductance. Refractive inductance is nothing but a measure of how much light slows down when it goes into a medium, into a new medium. That's called to be refractive index. So the formula is N is equal to C by V. So when you measure the refractive index for the crystalline solid, you will get the different values in different direction. So when you pass light into this crystalline solid along A and B, you can see along A you will get one value, along B you will get another value. Because along A you can find the similar atom, a similar constituent are present, but along B you can find different constituents are present in that. The isotropy, its physical properties are all same in all the direction. So example, amorphous solids. So let's see about this electrical conductance. Conductance is nothing but its reciprocal of resistance. So this either the conductance or the refractive inductance, when you measure in case of amorphous solid, you will get the same property in all the direction. So look at the example of this anisotropic crystalline solid, where you can have one green dot as well as the pink dot, where the green dot represent one kind of element and the pink dot represent another kind of element, another kind of constituent. When you measure along A, you can find the same kind of element, hence its value is one value. But when you measure along the B, you can find alternatively different kinds of elements, hence its value is going to be different entirely from A and B. So both refractive index as well as the electrical conductance. But you come to the amorphous solid, in that case this constituents are not arranged perfectly, it is arranged in a random manner, hence when you measure along any direction like A and A is mentioned, whatever direction you measure you can find the same property in case of this amorphous solid.